Hey guys, I'm Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography, and I'm based here in beautiful, sunny Southwest Florida. It's a beautiful 75 degrees today, and there isn't a cloud in the sky. It's a total Chamber of Commerce kind of day. And this is the Sigma 105mm f1.4 Art Series lens. This is a fantastic lens aimed squarely at portrait photographers, but I just like to call it the Bokeh Beast. Like nearly all my reviews, we're going to open up with build quality, and like virtually everything in the Sigma art line of lenses, these days the build quality is nothing short of substantial. In an industry that's ever moving to smaller and smaller form factors and downsizing seemingly everything, Sigma seems to have flipped the bird to the industry at large and throwing caution to the wind about size and weight, and are just focused on the best possible image quality with no holds barred whatsoever. Because these things are about as subtle as the Las Vegas Strip. The 105 is an audacious and uninhibited beast of a lens. I mean, check out that front element. The filter thread in this thing is 105mm. That's ginormous, just like everything else about the lens. It's anything but understated. The focus ring is rubberized and ribbed, and rotating it is smooth and buttery with, to my hand, the ideal amount of resistance. It oozes with perfection and impeccable quality. The autofocus manual focus switch snaps into position with a nice audible click. The lens includes a tripod collar which rotates, allowing for an easy transition from portrait to landscape if you're working on a tripod. And speaking of which, the base of the collar has an Arca Swiss mounting plate which eliminates the need for an additional base plate on the lens. It's a nice touch. The collar is also removable, which is nice if you're working handheld because it's big and it can definitely get in the way. On the inside, the lens is made up of 17 elements arranged in 12 groups, and included in that formula are 3 F-low dispersion elements and 2 special low dispersion elements, which, according to Sigma, reduce color fringing and chromatic aberrations, which result in improved clarity and color accuracy. It's profound. The aperture ranges from f1.4 to f16, and speaking of the aperture, there are 9 rounded aperture blades in there, and let me tell you, when combined with the 105mm focal length, the bokeh rendering is truly something exceptional. Now, onto the downsides. For starters, given that Sigma took the no holds barred approach to this lens, they didn't really take size and weight into the equation whatsoever. This thing is a monster, coming in at, wait for it, 3.6 pounds or 1.6 kilograms. If you're going to work weddings with this lens, you better be a gym rat because it'll work you to the core after an 8+ hour day. One of the other downsides is that Sigma only lists the lens as being dust and splash resistant. I would have thought at this price point they would have included much more robust weather sealing. Maybe that would have contributed even more weight-wise, and they opted just not to do it. But any way you cut it, the Sigma 105mm Art is the embodiment of rock-solid build quality, and as such, the Sigma gets a perfect 10 out of 10 for build. Next up is autofocus speed and accuracy. The Sigma is outfitted with Sigma's latest hypersonic motor, and autofocus speed is energetic and accurate, super accurate, especially on an A7 Mark III. I've been using the lens for about 3 weeks now, and in shot after shot after shot, the autofocus locks on even in the crummiest of lighting conditions and just nails focus the overwhelming majority of the time. Especially wide open at f1.4, you're going to feel like a sniper. But let me just demo this really quickly. First, we're going to focus on something very close. We've set the single point AF medium-sized in the center of the frame. We've set the focus to infinity, and we'll focus on something very close. And by the way, the minimum focus distance for this lens is about 1 meter, or roughly 3 1/3 feet. So here we go. And bam, that was really fast. Now something far away. Bam. I don't know if you can hear that, but this thing just nails focus practically every time. Even in video, the continuous autofocus function, it's a bit slow to start focusing, but once it locks on, this thing sticks like glue to the intended target. It works beautifully and instantaneously. It's a great effort from the folks over at Sigma, and as such, the 105 gets a perfect 10 out of 10 for autofocus speed and accuracy. Next up is optical quality and the quality of the results. Arguably, the most important aspect of any lens is the quality of the results it can deliver. And if you're anything like me, I tend to salivate rather profusely over wide aperture lenses, and my real-world results with those lenses, I found that the Sigma is simply sublime at f1.4, especially in the center of the frame. When you stop down just a little bit, then the results cut like a razor. In video, if you crave shallow depth of field and light gathering capability, then the Sigma won't let you down. But, as with all my reviews, rather than me telling you about the results, I'd rather just show you the results. The next 2 to 3 minutes will be a series of still photographs and video clips showing off the optical mastery of the Sigma 105mm f1.4 Art Series lens, and the results to my eye are truly magical. Last up is value, and what we have here is a world-class portrait lens capable of delivering superlative results, be it the fantastic build, the brisk and accurate autofocus, optical quality that will cut your eyes to ribbons, etc. But all of this comes with a couple of important penalties. Number one is the weight. The lens is a brick, and if you don't like carrying around that kind of weight, think long and hard before you press the buy button, because it's likely that it'll end up in your bag weighing it down, or on a shelf in your office or studio collecting dust. And that's a lot of cash for a paperweight. The second big penalty is the price. It's $1,522. Not crazy expensive for a lens in this focal length and aperture category, but certainly not cheap. If you're a Nikon shooter, the Nikon 105 f1.4 comes in at 2/3 of the weight of the Sigma, but it's also $674 more than the Sigma, making the Sigma a relatively good value for the same focal length and aperture combination. The Sigma is also not fully weather sealed. In the end, if you make your living as a portrait photographer, then I honestly don't think you can go wrong with the 105 Art. Though not cheap, it does offer a lot for the money. And as such, for value, the Sigma gets a 9 out of 10. To wrap up this review, we gave the Sigma 105mm f1.4 Art Series lens a 48.5 out of 50, earning our coveted Editor's Choice Award. The final word: if you make your living shooting portraits and you happen to be in the market for a high-quality portrait lens that checks nearly all the boxes, then I don't see how you can't consider the Sigma 105mm f1.4, a physical and optical gem that delivers where it counts, with fantastic results. The only glaring downsides to me were the lack of more robust weather sealing, especially for a lens in this price category, and of course the physical weight of the lens because, as mentioned previously, it's a brick, so you really need to be prepared for that. I'm Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography, and I'm based here in beautiful, it's nighttime and it's cool. We started when it was sunny, but now it's nighttime, Southwest Florida. If you like videos like this, go ahead and give me a like, or better yet, subscribe. And until the next time, happy shooting.